you could still get a number that is technically bullish if you get this market overhyped about corn acres.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Comstock channel. I'm Marlin Bohling with you. Always glad to have you with us as we discuss ag issues. And today I have a very special guest. Our guest today is going to be one of our featured panelists coming up at Commodity Classic in Denver. That'll be on March 4th at 10 o'clock in the morning there. And I have with me Karen Braun. She is a global ag journalist with Reuters. A lot of folks know Karen's work from the columns that she writes, the Twitter account that she has that everybody likes to follow, what she says about government reports and old crop tours and that sort of thing. She's very active. She's excellent with ag data. And Karen, welcome aboard. My gosh, it's an honor to get to talk with you, and I can't wait for March 4th. But thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to the event.
Now, just give us a little frame of reference here, if you would. You are located where? You're in the Midwest, right?
Yep, I'm in the Chicago suburbs, born and raised, but without a farm background. So, agriculture is a new industry for me, kind of in my career.
That to me is fascinating because you are one of the go-to resources for a lot of high-level ag experts that track what's going on affecting the ag markets and the ag industry as a whole. And I can't believe that you actually worked your way into the ag industry the way you did and have become such an icon as far as new developments and just tracking different kinds of data and that sort of thing. So what were you doing before you got into this here about 10 or 12 years ago?
Yeah, so I have 2 degrees in meteorology. So I did my master's thesis on tornadoes. And so, I was looking to do something that kind of connected weather with markets, society, impacts of weather. And so I started out with crop forecasting, actually, also with Thomson Reuters, who I'm still with now. But I was doing crop forecasts, very specifically like yields, Ukraine, Europe, really didn't know anything about it, didn't really understand how those crops really fit in the bigger picture, but I was thrown in. And, about 10 years ago, the Reuters news division of Thomson Reuters approached me and asked if I wanted to write columns. So ever since then, I've just kind of been learning. I still am learning about just all aspects of the market beyond, that weather and yield piece that I really started out with. So it's been a learning experience for me. And, but it's been fun because, like you said, I don't have that ag experience prior. So for me, it's just my science background really makes me good at the numbers and good at statistics and context, number crunching, all that stuff. So, I love to do that. And I love to look at the numbers in context and really reveal what's important and what maybe is less important than it seems. So that's kind of what I do. And I love to put that in a nice compact chart or table, share it on social media. And I don't know, I think people like it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you have a huge following, I know. In fact, you can count me among one of them. Yeah, it's fascinating because your past career spot and where you are now, they perfectly fit hand in glove because I challenge you to show me a farmer anywhere across the country who doesn't have an interest in the weather.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's such a relevant industry, and really any commodity class in general, but especially agriculture. So that knowledge really kind of propelled me just into this platform, and expanding my knowledge, and still doing that today.
Give us an idea of some of the reports that you do through the course of a day now.
Yeah, so I like to look at the weekly USDA reports they put out. So like, export inspections and sales, those are weekly data that people look at. And one week or the other may not be anything special, but when you put it all together and you show, cumulative, where we're at, or how this compares with years past, or maybe, one trade partner is less involved than normal or more involved. Those types of things I like to look at because I know the market is looking at that data throughout the week. And, of course, every USDA report, people are, on the spot, 11 a.m. Central Time, they're waiting for those numbers. And so just being able to disseminate that quickly, here's what it was, here's what the trade was expecting, just so that people can understand why the market is moving the way it is. And, Konabi from Brazil, basically Brazil's USDA, they put out reports every month. So I post about that. And, really just anything that's going on that people are talking about. And I just find that, the USDA, for as much flack as it gets sometimes, really no other country does agriculture data gathering, estimates, anything, like the USDA. So we're just very lucky to have a data set, flawed or not, that we can work with and that we can, try to measure these markets on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
By the time we have this seminar at Commodity Classic, there's so much water that has to go under the bridge. I mean, we're going to have our big Ag Outlook Forum in the suburbs of DC. So that should maybe give us some answers as far as what the government is looking for when it comes to acreage and production. Or do you think that'll cause more questions than answers?
It's really hard to say. I mean, because of course these things can be unpredictable, and you never can bet one way. But I do think that right now people are aware that corn is relatively more attractive to U.S. producers than soybeans. I don't think that's a secret. I think we're all expecting a pretty big acreage, at the end of March in the planting intentions, and but I think kind of whatever the USDA says at the end of February, and then whatever we see at the end of March. I mean, even if you do see a huge increase in corn acres, you could still get a number that is technically bullish if you get this market overhyped about corn acres, overhyped about how much farmers can plant and how far they're willing to go. So there's a lot of different facets of this analysis, and it kind of just depends on what people are expecting, where we're at the time, and what the weather's doing. And of course, what's going on with trade, which is a very fluid situation day to day now, of course.
We're getting ever closer to Commodity Classic here. What do you think has potential to be maybe one of the biggest black swans between now and then, from some of the headlines you've had a chance to watch?
I mean, of course, anything with trade tensions, trade tariffs, kind of getting into, a spat with any of the major U.S. Trade partners. We had a brief thing with Colombia. Now it's on hold, but with Canada and Mexico, China. So, Europe is also, in that discussion. So, I think just, those are the things, because of course, trade is super important for U.S. agriculture, and, really being able to expand and not contract those opportunities is really what's important for this industry. So I think that, and like I mentioned earlier, it's just kind of every day unknown as to what the policy could be or what the reaction from other countries could be. And so that really is our biggest unknown. I mean, more so than in the past, few years at least. This just, nobody can really predict it. So we just have to sit here every day and watch the headlines come through and react as appropriate.
I'm glad you brought that up, because you mentioned the 30-day suspension of tariffs between the U.S. and Canada and the U.S. and Mexico. Wow, that would put it right before Commodity Classic. Isn't that interesting? So that could be some key talking points right there. We're going to be right in the middle of all that.
Exactly. It might be literally hot off the press analysis. I mean, really like right there on the spot, because I think it lines up very close to the day of the presentation. So
is it going to be okay if we open things up from the audience there and see if they can pick your brain a little bit about what's going on in the world?
Yeah, I actually love questions from readers and audience members, because that gets my brain going, and it maybe points out something or an angle that I didn't consider. And so I think discussion is really great. I would love to hear anything and everything that people want to ask about.
So I would encourage everybody out there, if you're planning on attending, have some questions ready, and Karen will be glad to address them, if they're ag statistic related or something like that. She's up to date on just about all the ag issues. So look forward to the discussion there. And then I want to remind everybody, we plan to be carrying this conference at Commodity Classic live. And if you can't make it to Commodity Classic, hey, you can still watch it anyway. We're going to be posting links to it here on Comstock.com, and you'll be able to watch it from your living room or your office or whatever. And hopefully, if all the technology works right, if you have questions, you can submit them online, and we can catch them on that end and relay them on to Karen or anybody on the panel. So it should be an exciting time. We're looking forward to seeing everybody there. Karen, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with us and kind of enlighten our audience about what to expect. So we look forward to the discussion. In the meantime, travel safe and good luck through this Ag Outlook Forum. And I can't wait to learn all the details on the other side when we meet in Denver. All right?
Same. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Karen Braun with Reuters with us. She's going to be one of our featured panelists at Commodity Classic. Remember, that will be March 4th at 10 o'clock in the morning for one of the learning sessions. So we really look forward to that. Another one will be Eric Snodgrass on the panel and our own Matthew Cruz. And then I'll be there emceeing that event. We hope to see you there. That'll do it for this particular podcast episode. Thanks again for joining us. For producer Brianne Jenkins, I'm Marlin Bohling, and we'll catch you next time here on the Comstock Channel. Futures trading involves risk. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance is not indicative of future results.